Hello, students. I am Dr. Rita Aboloma, your facilitator for Entrepreneurship Development 2, EED 416. In your HND 1, you were taught some concepts in EED 316, Entrepreneurship Development 1. So you are not coming across entrepreneurship development for the first time. So, for this course, we're going to look at the first topic, the functional areas of business. Introduction. Entrepreneurs need to be reminded from time to time about the basic functional areas regarding their enterprises so that they can be up to date and be efficient and effective managers. This section exposes the learner to the basic managerial tools applied in day-to-day operation of business enterprises. We are going to now look at the basic management concepts and functions. Any organization, whether new or old, big or small, need to run smoothly and achieve the goals and objectives with which it had set forth. For this, they have to develop and implement their own management concepts. There are basically 4 management concepts, however, which are planning. Planning is the foundation area of management. It is the base upon which all areas of management should be built. Planning requires administration to assess where the company is set presently and where it will be on a target date. From there, an appropriate course of action is determined and implemented to attain the company's goals and objectives. Planning is an unending course of action. There are external factors that constantly affect a company both optimistically and pessimistically. So, depending on the conditions, a company may have to alter its course of action in accomplishing certain goals. This kind of preparation or arrangement is known as strategic planning. In strategic planning, management analyzes inside and outside factors that may affect the company and set objectives and goals. Here, they should have a study of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, which we call the SWOTs. You are going to be taught that later in the course. Another function of management is organizing. Management must organize all its resources well beforehand in order to put into practice a course of action. Through this process, management will determine the inside directorial configuration, establish and maintain relationships, and also assign required resources. While determining the inside directorial configuration, management ought to look at the different divisions or departments. They also see to the harmonization of staff and try to find out the best way to handle the important tasks within the company. Management determines division of work according to its needs. It also has to decide for suitable departments who to hand over authority to and responsibilities. The third function of management is directing. It helps management to control and supervise the actions of the staff. It helps them to assist the staff in achieving the company's goals and also accomplish their personal or career goals, which can be powered by motivation, communication, department dynamics, and department leadership. And here lies the reason why managers focus on motivating their employees. It is very important to maintain a productive working environment, building positive interpersonal relationships, and solving problems. This can be done with effective communication. When we're talking about communication, it could be downwards or upwards. That is from the employees to the management or from management to the employees. So with communication, effective directing will be done. The finest technique of finding the areas that require improvement is for managers to ask themselves and others at regular intervals how they are doing. This is what we call feedback, a feedback mechanism. This leads to better relationship and helps managers for better directing plans. It also has to decide for suitable departments who to hand over authorities and responsibilities to. Another function of management is control. Control is the last function, and it includes establishing performance standards, which are of course based on the company's objectives. It also involves evaluating and reporting of actual job performance. When these points are studied by management, then it is necessary to compare actual performance with expected benchmarks. This study on comparison of both sides further gives corrective and preventive actions. In an effort to solve performance problems, management should insist on higher standards. Management should in no time water down its standards. High standards should be maintained, and employees should be helped to attain those standards. So management should straightforwardly speak to the employee or departments having problems. On the contrary, if there are inadequate resources, or other external factors that disallow standards from being attained, management should consider lowering the standards as per requirements, because as a member of management, you will not expect your employees to give their best if what they are to work with are not made available. So where such resources are not available, you have to lower the standards. The controlling processes in comparison with the other three are an unending process, or we can call it a continuous process. With this, management can detect any probable problems. It helps them in taking necessary preventive measures against the consequences. Management can also organize any other developing problems. Management can also recognize any other developing problems that need corrective actions. Effective and efficient management leads to success. Of course, we all know that when the head of a fish is rotten, all parts of the fish will eventually get rotten. So if management is living up to expectation, job will be carried out effectively. The success where it attains the objectives and goals of the organization. Of course, for achieving the ultimate goal and aim, management needs to work creatively in problem solving in all functions, in all of the four functions. Management not only has to see the needs of accomplishing the goals, but also has to look into the process that their way is feasible for the company. Thank you very much. This is where we end today's lecture. We will meet again next week, where we will discuss